Hello YouTube, Papa25 back once again. I'm still at my mom's house, but this is going to be one of my longer videos. I am home alone right now, and we're not home alone at my mom's house alone. And I promised you guys whenever I let out my 50 top wide receivers, I would be doing another video later explaining why I have everybody where they're at. And right now I'm going to be doing my top 10, explaining why I have them where they're at. My top 10 are 1. Antonio Brown, Dez Bryant, Demaryius Thomas, Jordy Nelson, AJ Green, Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, Randall Cobb, Alshon Jeffrey, Odell Beckham Jr. But first off, I'm going to talk about something else. This is urgent, really. I have Keenan Allen at number 25 in my wide receiver rankings. And for the first 4 weeks of the fantasy season, Antonio Gates is out. So, if Keenan Allen is going later in your draft than 20, I'd pick him up. If you want to have a fast start to your season, Keenan Allen just went from a 1-ish or 2, like a kind of sharing option. Like, they were both kind of number 1, but, you know, they were half number 1. Now he's definitely the number 1 target for my boy, crap, I forgot the name of their quarterback. My boy, it'll come back to me, Philip Rivers. But that was just a little start note. I'm probably going to be drafting him now that happened, because I want to hit off the gate running. I'll probably start him, and then I'll probably put him on the bench for one of my better wide receivers after that. But let's go ahead and get into the video, guys. Also, if you want to leave in your in the comment section, I don't know if you can even see me right now. I'm going to scoot back a little bit. If you want to leave in the comment section your top 10 wide receivers, that'd be great. If you don't agree with my list, go ahead and tell me why. First off, we're going to go over stats. Okay, if you look at the stats out of all these 10 wide receivers, the one that leads them, that had the most receptions and yards last year, is Antonio Brown. And the one that had the most touchdowns out of all of them is Dez Bryant. That's my 1 and 2. I mean, I know last year's not a good option, but Dez Bryant's been having killer touchdowns. He's about the safest option you can go with. Antonio Brown led the league in points last year for wide receiver fantasy. So those are my 1 and 2. So let's just go over stats right quick, other than that. Last year, Antonio Brown had 129 receptions and 1,700 yards, basically 2 yards off that, and 13 touchdowns. Dez Bryant had only 88 receptions, which is 40 less, 1,320 yards, and 16 touchdowns, which is 3 more. Demaryius Thomas had more receptions and yards than Dez, but he had less fantasy points because he had 5 less touchdowns with only 11. He had 1,600 yards and 110 catches. Jordy Nelson had 100 catches flat, pretty much. He had 99. I'm just kind of rounding up if it's that close. 1,500 yards and 13 touchdowns. AJ Green missed 3 games, I want to say, and he was more of a decoy in a lot of those games. He even played in while he was hurt. He only had 69 catches, over 1,000 yards by a bit, and 6 touchdowns. Calvin Johnson, he was on my team last year, and he absolutely killed me in one of my leagues. In my other league, I did pretty good. I didn't have him, but he was like my 2nd pick or 1st pick, and yeah, those 5 or 6 weeks where he didn't play, he only missed 3 games, but same with AJ. He was a decoy a lot. Only got like 1 or 2 targets. He had 71 receptions, 1,000 yards, 8 TDs. And YouTube, just stick in here with me. I'm about to get into why. I just want to go over these stats right quick. Julio Jones last year had one of his best seasons yet. He's a guy that is really athletic, and people always say he's going to explode, and something would happen where he wouldn't have a good season. This year he did have a good season with 104 receptions, 1,600 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Randall Cobb last year had 91 receptions, 1,200 or 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. Alshon Jeffrey had 85 receptions, 1,133 yards, and 10 touchdowns, but that should go up now that Brandon Marshall's gone. And now for the controversial pick. A lot of people are putting Odell Beckham Jr. too high, in my opinion, and I'll say why whenever I get to him and the reasons why I have people where they are. I'm going to go get a water right quick, actually. But Odell Beckham Jr. last year had 91 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 12 touchdowns in basically only 9 games. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm back. She didn't have no water in there. But now on to why I have people where they're at, right? I hope this video gets a lot of views, guys. Go ahead and give this a thumbs up. It lets people see it more. Also, press subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'm doing daily uploads this summer. Go check my previous video. I mean, not this summer. Daily uploads once the fantasy season starts. And if you think I don't have enough ideas, go down to the last video. Those are all the ideas I have on daily uploads I can do. Pretty good video. Anyways, the reason I have Antonio Brown at number 1, he's responsible for more of his team's offense than any other wide receiver in the league. And he delivered last year. He led the league in yards and receptions. He is a safe bet for number 1, and he will, if healthy, he will surely be in the top 5. So, I mean, that's kind of what I look at. I mean, there's guys that they'll questionably be number 1, but they're never going to fall out of the top 5. Then there's guys that could be number 1, like Odell Beckham Jr., but he might fall out of the top 10 even. And then there's guys like Jordy Nelson that there's no way he's number 1, but there's no way he's going to fall out of the top 8. So that's kind of what I look at. I like the safe pick. Some people like going out, and once I get out of like my number 1 wide receiver, I like going for the non-safe pick sometimes. But anyways, let's go on to Dez Bryant. The reason I have Dez Bryant at number 2, he's big and he's quick. He's like a big guy that can go in the end zone, get them touchdowns in the red zone, and he can run them quick routes and get open. They love throwing to him in the end zone. Plus, with the loss of Murray, I see no reason why he can't duplicate 15-plus touchdowns like he did last year. It actually should be easier because every year, the past 4 years, he's had plus 10. The Cowboys love doing that little play where he runs up and he backs and they just throw it to him in that little tight corner and he holds on to it. They love throwing to him in the end zone. He's a lot like Antonio Brown. He could be number 1, but he's not going to fall out of the top 5. Now, this third guy is a guy that I went with last year. I love him. He's my favorite player in the NFL because I am a Broncos fan. Demaryius Thomas. But he's not quite as safe as the first 2, in my opinion. Here's why. A lot of his value depends on whether or not Peyton Manning can throw it deep. Like, he hasn't thrown it deep good in the last 3 years, but, I mean, last year towards the end of the year, he couldn't do it at all. And even if Demaryius Thomas is the best yards after catch wide receiver in the league, he still needs to go deep to have his full potential edge. Thomas is a big deep threat, and I see him in the top 10. But if Manning can't throw it deep, he has as much, if not more. If Manning can throw it deep, he has it. I'm sorry, YouTube. Erase that from your memory. If Manning can throw the ball deep, he has as much, if not more, potential than Antonio Brown and Dez Bryant. But if Peyton Manning can't throw it deep like he was starting not to be able to at the end of last year, and like he really could in the past 3 years, he'll be top 10, but I don't know if he'll be much more than that. Jordy Nelson's one of those type of guys that I talk about. He's safe, but he's not a number 1 guy. Jordy Nelson is about as safe a pick there is. Not as much number 1 star potential, but a lock for the top 10, for the top 5 spot. He plays with the best QB. I said lock for the top 8's more like it. I wrote down 5, but he'll definitely be in the top 8. He plays with the best QB in the league on a team that throws more than any other. And with a great RB, so the other teams must respect the run, I see him having a plus 90 reception, plus 1,000 yard, and plus 10 touchdown season. That's plus. He could go way higher than that. I see him having as good, if not a little bit better than he did last year's season. AJ Green is my number 5 spot. This is controversial because last year AJ Green came off of his worst season yet because of injury. I mean, honestly, what does that even mean? People are moving Calvin Johnson. Last year he was a clear number 1 or 2, and they're moving him down all the way to not even in the top 5 this year. I even moved him out of the top 5, but I'm still going to draft Calvin Johnson a lot. He's a freak of nature. But anyways, let's go back to AJ Green. He's a huge deep threat and maybe the best in the NFL at bringing down jump balls. He's a threat to be the best or in the top 3, but with wide receiver as deep as it is, I have him at 5. He's the only guy to throw to in Cincinnati, so if he stays healthy, he should be good. Also, Andy Dalton had an off season last year. I don't believe that's going to happen again. I like Andy Dalton. He's not great, but he's a good quarterback. And a lot of the reason why he had a bad season last year is because A.J. Green was unhealthy. Throw A.J. Green off the ball enough times in a game. That's the guy they're going to be throwing it to the most. He's going to have Jeremy Hill as the running back and Giovanni Bernard, I cannot say his name, I'm sorry, as the second running back. They're going to have to respect the run. He's the best deep threat in the NFL, probably, in my opinion. He can jump up. He's got hops for days. Long arms. He's tall. I'm done talking about A.J. Green. Calvin Johnson. I'm just going to read this one straight off the paper. I'm not winging it at all because this is dang facts. I'm getting excited. I'm sorry, YouTube. Calvin Johnson may be the most physically gifted wide receiver in NFL history, but he just came off of his worst season due to injury. He and Matthew Stafford both have a lot to prove. Matt has a great arm, and Calvin Johnson is a deep threat. Great arm, deep threat. I believe this will be deadly. But there will be weeks where Matthew Stafford, the man of mistakes, he has great weeks, bad weeks. In the great weeks, start Calvin Johnson. Well, you're going to start him anyways, just in case. But there will be weeks where he throws 3, 4 interceptions. Calvin Johnson could still do good in those weeks if he comes away with a touchdown. But if not, I see him having average weeks every once in a while. He's going to have a lot of great weeks and a few down weeks. Calvin Johnson's a good pick. I mean, as a wide receiver 1, if you don't want to go with a wide receiver as early as those first guys I mentioned, if he's out there and so is Jordy Nelson, I wouldn't see a problem. Instead of taking Jordy Nelson, wait a few rounds and take Calvin. This one is actually, now that I read him at 7, it sounds wrong because he is a beast. Julio Jones should be higher than what he is, but I have him at 7. He's extremely fast and a big red zone threat. He's tall, fast. He could easily be the most athletic wide receiver in the league. He has injury problems in the past. That's why he isn't any higher for me. I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's through that. For me, he is just great when healthy. Enough said. Julio Jones is a beast. Roddy White is going to demand attention. I'm not a big Roddy White fan. He's let me down in fantasy in past years. But next, please, next. And I'm just going to talk about Odell Beckham Jr. when I get him because I have nothing wrote down about Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know why. Anyways, Randall Cobb is the fastest. Oh my god, not bad. I messed that up. Number 8 is Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb is fast and a good wide receiver. And he isn't even number 1 on his team, which means he won't be double covered or even guarded by the best cornerback at most times. He and Jordy will post huge numbers, not only because they're talent, but because they're playing with the best QB in the league, and Aaron Rodgers knows how to utilize both of them. Both of them had double-digit touchdowns last year. Are you joking with me? If you can choose a second guy on his team, he's not even the number 1 option on his team. He's going to post up a plus 1,000, plus 90 catches, and 10 touchdowns. You're kidding me, man. Randall Cobb also has had injury problems in the past. So, I mean, anything can happen, guys. Okay, next. Wait a second, I got to look at this. Also, YouTube, stick in here for a little bit more longer. We're on number 9 right now. It's about to be over. Then I want to talk to you guys at the end. That's really important for you to hear. But I'm looking at something right now, seeing if... Okay, I'm not going to use that. I just wanted to look at that. Alshon Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey's my number 9 pick, mainly because they lost Brandon Marshall. I think he's a better receiver than Brandon Marshall for sure. People are actually moving Brandon Marshall down too low. I have him at the 22 spot, but I know people that have moved him all the way out of the 40s, and that's just crazy for me. Alshon Jeffrey put up huge numbers last year alongside Brandon Marshall. He is tall. You can throw to him. You can throw him jump balls in the red zone and downfield. And with Marshall gone, he'll get more touches. Jay Cutler is getting much criticism, but I don't believe it. His lack of play, if he even does slack off, will affect Jeffrey at all. I don't think that it will. I think Jay Cutler had a bad season last year. I don't think he's a great NFL quarterback, but, I mean, look at him. I don't want to say Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford, but we've talked about so long. Jay Cutler's got a great arm. Jay Cutler's got a great arm. Jay Cutler's got a great arm. And I don't see how one bad year, or a decent year and then a bad year, he didn't do great the year before last, but I don't see how that can change what you've thought of him, especially in fantasy. Maybe as a real-life quarterback, but I don't think Alshon Jeffrey, I think Alshon Jeffrey will have a good season, even if they have to bring in the backup. And now on to my main boy. I actually do have Jay Cutler are only at 14 as my QBs in fantasy. I won't be drafting him, but I mean, I don't see a problem if you draft him. I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not going to say that that's stupid or nothing. Someone in my last video, I'm just going to address this right quickly, said I should have Nelson Agholor or something like that. If he's a rookie, I know who he is. I wasn't saying his name like that. I just can't pronounce it. And I did have him on my list. I just forgot to write him down. I had him in there, like in between Brandon. I don't really remember where. I think I had him around Kenny Stills, Kendall Wright, but he was on my list. He was right before. He was at 46, right before Brashad Perryman. So I don't know what happened to him. He's not on the list anymore. I mean, you can still draft him. He's not going to have a horrible year, I don't think. He's a rookie. How could I know? There's a lot of good rookie halfbacks. But let's get on to Odell Beckham Jr. This is the most pressing subject. If you're still in here, awesome, you're my hero, man. You're in the video, bro. Thumbs up, bro. Thumbs up. No one... I got 19 subscribers and you're watching the video this long? I'm way too excited right now. Cut that out. Don't remember that. Okay, let's get on to the main man of the hour. Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr., man. I'm going to get on to the point here in a second, guys. Odell Beckham Jr., some people have him at number 2. He's played 9 games in the NFL. Come on, boys. Odell Beckham Jr. could have a great season, and I'll look like an idiot right now. He could have the best season of any wide receiver. Wanna know why? Because he's a talented dude. He is really, really talented. But wide receivers have historically dropped off in their second season. T.Y. Hilton posted great numbers for his rookie year. Second year, not so good. Third year last year, he was, I think, a top 10, top 15 wide receiver. Fantasy, I know he was top 10, 15, but he might have been top 10. Odell Beckham Jr. playing with Eli Manning, even though he is one of the most athletic guys and one of the most gifted, spectacular catchers that I've ever seen in my life. And no, it's not just that one catch. People that are hating on him like I'm kind of doing right now will say, oh, he has one catch. No. He was great in college. Watched him then. He was great while he was playing last year. He could have a great season this year. There's just a risk factor. And if you want to take that risk, kudos to you. But if he falls to 9 or 10 in my draft, I'm drafting, no question. But for me to pick to spend your number 1, number 2, or first round pick or early second round pick on Odell Beckham Jr. with that much of a risk, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's a smart thing to do. But that's pretty much the end of this video. I'm gonna do 10 through 20 next week and post that video up. YouTube, please, 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 I cannot stress this. Share this with a friend. I have 19 subscribers. I'm trying to make a YouTube channel. I'm not even getting mad at you guys, I promise. But I'm trying to make a YouTube channel, guys. Like, it's hard. I'm telling you. I've been gaining, I think I've gained 5 subscribers since I've done fantasy football stuff, which is great. I mean, I'm glad you guys have subscribed. And as long as I can help out some people, as long as I'm getting some views, but the more the merrier, you know what I'm saying? So just please share this with a friend, like it, subscribe. I'm doing daily uploads this fantasy season. It's about to be hype. Thank you guys for watching this video. It means the world. If you can get a friend to subscribe, if you guys are in a fantasy football league, you want to show them the video, actually, if you're in a fantasy football league with someone and you don't want to share this video with them, I completely understand because they won't be getting the tips. I'm going to be doing all kinds of uploads. I'm posting a video either before this or after this of videos. Of the video ideas I have to do for this fantasy season. Daily uploads this fantasy season. I might take some days off, something like that. But if you want to watch the list where I name off all the top 50 wide receivers, it'll be in the annotation right here. We'll see you next time, YouTube. Bye. I'm just trying to say Hoppy2345 signing out. For real. See you later. That was awkward. Exit. I hit my head on the fan. Bye.